Alright, you guys read the title, you know what we're going to do today. We're going to change the oil on the hydrostatic pumps, so let's get to it. The first thing that's important to do here is locating the hydraulic oil filter. On this machine, the hydraulic oil filter is directly under the right side fuel tank. So what I'm going to figure out next is if there's a hydraulic oil drain plug, I want to pull that out. If not, I'm going to have to pull the filter off and let it all drain from there. So I'm going to, here's the hydraulic oil reservoir. I'm going to feel along on the underside to see if there's any drain plug. Not that I can tell so far. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to take this fuel tank off. You don't necessarily have to do this, but it's going to make it a lot easier to see what I'm doing and show you guys what I'm doing. So I'm going to do that real quick here. Alright, so I moved the fuel tank out of the way there. As you can see, this is our hydraulic filter. Once I get this loosened off of here, all of the hydraulic oil in the reservoir up here should just naturally, by gravity, come out of here, dump into there, and I should be able to put the new filter on and refill my system. Alright, that's going to take quite a while to drip all out in there, so I'm going to stop the video for a minute and I'll be back once it's empty. So I'm going to take the reservoir off. Alright, I'm also going to detach both of these overflow lines right here. Now I'm just going to lift this up high enough and find a place to leave it like that, and all of the fluid should be able to drain out. So alright, so that's everything drained out. I'm gonna bolt this back to the frame, reattach the return lines here, and then I'm gonna put the new filter on so we can refill it. Alright, everything's back in place. Now it's time to put on the new filter. Just thought I would also mention this oil that I drained here today, it actually isn't all that dirty. It's not as bad as I would have expected, but I'm glad I'm doing this now because I don't know when this was last serviced. A lot of the components on this mower had a mark written on them for when they were last serviced, but this one did not. So I'm getting this done now so that I don't have to wonder anymore. Alright, so I got a little oil here in the oil bottle cap. I'm going to take that on my finger and just wipe it on the seal here so it makes good sealing contact. Now I'm going to thread it on. Okay, now I'm sure you're wondering why there's tape on here. I ran into a problem because I don't have the correct sized oil filter wrench. So by wrapping tape on here, I increased the diameter of this and I could actually tighten it up. Best way to avoid this is just having the right size wrench, but since I don't, I'm going to do this. And if it doesn't work, you guys will know what not to do. Now you don't want these incredibly tight. I'm just getting this down to the same torque as the original one that I just took off, and that's about the right torque. Now I'm going to refill the reservoir with hydraulic fluid. Now this actually just calls for plain 10W30 motor oil for its hydraulic system, so check your manuals so you know what yours needs. And the manual does not specify an amount to refill it to, but there is a full mark on the reservoir. So I'm going to fill it to there, and then I'm going to run the machine so that it pulls the new oil into the system. And then I'm going to check it again after that because it may need a little more added after the filter is filled to the top. Alright, it's right on the full line. I'm gonna stop there and run the machine so that it'll go through the system. Before I can run the machine, I gotta slap the other fuel tank back on here, so I'm gonna get to that. Alright, I'm gonna fire up the engine, and as soon as I drop that clutch lever, it's gonna engage the hydrostatic transmission and start pulling oil in, and then we're gonna see how much more I need to add after that. Alright, so the transmissions are working properly. Oil is coming back through both return lines, and it doesn't look like the level dropped at all, so it must have dropped all the drop it was going to drop when I put the oil in initially. So it's still full. I'm going to take it out and do a little mowing with it and see how the refilled transmission does.